Okay, everybody, in today's video we're going to be looking at the Venezuelan contract FN-49. This is also known as the first contract FN-49. And the FN-49 was designed by FN sort of lead designer Dieudonné Save. At least I hope I'm saying his name right. He was a protege of John Moses Browning and among other things invented the FN high power, or at least was, one of the main guys working on it along with John Moses Browning. And he would make the FN-49, and his work on auto-loading rifles dated back to before World War II, but really he started getting rolling after World War II, and this would be sort of his first successful auto-loading rifle project. And the FN-49 is heavily based on the SVT-40. The gas system is changed up a little bit. Instead of being a multi-piece gas piston, it's a single-piece one. And the bolt carrier is, pretty similar to the SVT. But there would be a number of changes from that rifle and a lot of improvements. So it uses aperture sights, rear aperture sights instead of the notch sights. That has a much more adjustable gas system, which you have to take the handguard off to adjust gas. But Venezuela would become interested in the rifle and actually order it before it even had its final designation. They ordered it in 1948 when it was still known as the FN-48, and it would be delivered in 1949, and then they would order a second contract in 1950, and that would be delivered in 1951. And these would be ordered along with a contract of FN Model 30 rifles, a second contract of those. And this is part of the first contract, and there are a couple small differences you can use to tell these apart. Any of them that are number 4,000 or lower will be part of the first contract, and any of them 4,000 or higher, or 4,001 or higher, will be part of the second contract. And there are a number of small differences with markings. The best way to tell is on the first contracted rifles, there will be no stock cartouches on it. That's kind of the quickest way to tell, along with the serial number. But there were also a number of small differences. So the way this rifle operates is pretty similar to the SVT-40. Locks open on empty magazine, non-detachable 10-round magazine, feeds from stripper clips. These would use a proprietary stripper clip, but M14 clips seem to work pretty well. And chambered in 7mm Mauser. Venezuela would pretty much be the only country to order them in 7mm. I believe Brazil would order some in that caliber, but none of those are really easily found in the U.S. today. Only the Venezuelan ones can be found in 7mm. And these basically would be put into storage for the most part and unissued, because Venezuela would then order the FAL in 1954. So all the FN-49s were pretty much put into storage for the most part. Some were issued, but none of them really saw combat use, so the majority of these rifles can still be found in excellent condition. And you can lock it open on empty with an automatic hold open, or you can retract the bolt back a little bit more and lock it open with a manual hold open here. We'll display how that works in a little bit. And to release the bolt, you just depress your magazine and let it forward. The safety is right here, can be easily actuated with the trigger finger. The sliding dust cover right here just keeps out dust and debris from your action. The sights go from 100 up to 1,000 meters, and rifles underslung. I believe this one still has the fully intact handguard, but a number of these handguards would be cut in half for easier adjustment of the gas and disassembly. And here's a bayonet for an FN-49. This is a Belgian one. The Venezuelan ones would be in the white and have a much longer blade, but this one works well enough just for demonstration. Locks up there on the front, then you press the button to release your bayonet. And the Venezuelan contract guns came with a muzzle brake from the factory. Not every contract of FN-49 would, but these will have a muzzle brake built in on them. And you have your gas plug right here. You can basically use this to disassemble the gas system, and you can also set it to repetition, which basically cuts off the gas and makes it a bolt action rifle for if you wanted to shoot rifle grenades, which Venezuela never used rifle grenades, at least not to my knowledge. And every one of the Venezuelan contract rifles will have a scope mount on it, but they never made any sniper rifles. At least Venezuela didn't. And you can also see the very nice Venezuelan crest, the same that will be on the Mauser rifles they ordered. And yeah, these rifles would be ordered, pretty much put into storage. A few of them were issued, and then they got surplused here to the U.S. in 1966. And all of them that are around are pretty much here in the U.S. I'm sure a few are still in Venezuela and scattered about the globe. But yeah, if you want to know any more about the FN-49, look up the FN-49 book written by Wayne Johnson. And yeah, that's pretty much all I'm going to say about it, so let's get into shooting it some. Alright, we're going to start out with 5 rounds at 100 yards, but we'll load up 10, that way we can show off the manual hold open next time. And the M14 clips aren't perfect for this gun, but they are pretty much the best thing we've got. The actual FN clips are kind of harder to find now. So if you manage to see some FN clips for sale somewhere for cheap, you should probably pick those up because they're not nearly as common. Alright, we'll do 5 rounds down here at 100. Alright, that's 5 rounds, and just clear this one. Alright, here's our group at 100 yards, and you can see it's a very tight group. It's just a little bit low and a little bit to the right, but it's a very good group out of the Venezuelan. Alright, we're going to do another 5 rounds, and to show off how you would top off your rifle if you had, fired a few rounds, would obviously eject your round that's in the chamber, but you pull it all the way to the rear, press your button back here, that's the manual hold open, then you can charge in an extra 5 rounds. But that's a pretty unique system for, a lot of stripper clip loading rifles don't really have a manual hold open you can lock on while the magazine's still partially loaded. But yeah, we're going to do another 5 rounds at 100 yards. And the ammo we're shooting is a Seller and Bellot full metal jacket. Don't think I mentioned that before, but it's about the cheapest 7mm you can find. It's about 90 cents a round, which is pretty dang good for today's ammo prices. that's our next group. Well, on that last group, I got ahead of myself and fired a 6th round, but see, it's just a little bit off. But yeah, another great group, and we bumped it up to 200, so it's a little bit more in line with the center of the plate, but it's an extremely good shooting rifle. Alright, I'll do another 5 rounds, done at 100. That's all 5 of them. Alright, here's our next group. A little bit lower than the last one, but had 1 flyer, but another pretty decent group out of the rifle. Alright, we're going to do another 5 at 100. That's all 5 of them. Alright, here's our group. We got 1 just on the edge of the plate, and the other 3 here, and then the last one there. But another pretty good group out of the rifle. Alright, looks like we're out of ammo. It's time for a bayonet charge. Well, that solved the problem. Alright, that's going to be it for the video. We had a lot of fun with the Venezuelan FN-49. These are really nice rifles, and it's a shame that they didn't produce more of them, but there's just, 8,000 of them floating around, and they're just really nice guns. And one thing to keep an eye out with on these is, if you see one of these that's, looks like this, but it's a cutaway example for training, they only made 12 of those, and I'm not sure if any of them are still around today, but if you see one of these that's a cutaway for training, then that's probably something worth picking up, because they only made 12 of them. And yeah, if you want to see any more out of this FN-49 or any of our other FN rifles, let us know in the comments, and we'll catch you in the next one.